Good evening, everybody. I am back on this Wednesday night. At least it's Wednesday where I am. God, what date is it? December 4th? December 4th, I think. 2024. As we're seeing the fluctuations in the markets, I figured now would be a good time to do a video. I've been kind of preparing for a long time on how to reverse engineer your wealth once XRP goes to the levels I think we're all aware of where it could go. This may not be for the short term. I will stress that this is probably most like a long-term hold, well past the point where regulations come in and utility gets implemented. We are at a stage now for the past month on just a pump from news that Gary Gensler may no longer be there, but there's a lot of other factors that play into that. But this is definitely the post-new administration pump. And I'd been saying this for a couple of months now when you'd been asking questions about what I think is going to happen and where it's going to go. I said we're probably not going to see any even decent gains until a new administration comes in, if one does, and one is about to. And here we go. I'll start with my outline on why this is important for a long-term hold. Most of my clients end up going through what would be considered either a rebalance of their portfolio or even a stock liquidation spot where they can liquidate the stocks, put it into something that would be a little bit more conservative, usually to the tune of some kind of bond fund, income fund, equity and income fund, even growth and income fund sometimes, and even as well some funds that actually produce dividends. But I'm going to kind of show you what the formula looks like, and then I'm going to show what that looks like when we reverse that formula to include XRP Wealth with that. And what the purpose of this video is to show you what your price target is for XRP if you're looking to reverse engineer just to replace your income passively. So for those who are unsure what price XRP could hit, I'm going to give you some pretty high numbers on this one. But again, this is not for the short term. This is definitely for a long-term hold. So what does stock liquidation look like when we're either rebalancing portfolios or we're ready to just, I'm done with my boss. I'm moving to an island, kind of like I did, and I'm going to liquidate some stocks and just live off the interest on that. Well, here's the formula for this. We liquidate whatever stock that you're investing in, and if it's in just a regular brokerage account, you're going to have to pay the capital gains taxes of 20%. So we take that stock, whatever that dollar amount is, we multiply it by 0.8, 80%, because that other 20% is going to go to the taxes, and that'll give you your net total. Your net total, and you multiply it by 5%, usually, which is what a yield from an income fund happens. That will give you your yearly salary. So if you actually put numbers into this thing, let's just say, to make the math easy, you had 1.25 million in stock that you're looking to liquidate. You times that by 0.8. The 20% of that 1.25 million goes to taxes, and then what's left over is $1 million net total. That $1 million net total times 5% in income fund will pay you $50,000 per year, or $4,167 per month. It's easy to do when you have a portfolio that's amassed that much money, but at the end of the day, looking at it from kind of just general math, this is pretty easy considering. The reverse formula is a little tougher to follow, but I'm going to walk you through it step by step, allow you to even screenshot, if you're on your phone, screenshot the formula that I'm going to use, or if you're on your computer, you can pause the video and do some kind of print screenshot on your laptop or your desktop, either too. So here's what the formula versus the reverse formula looks like. We just did a stock liquidation, told you about the taxes, got your net total, and then we figured out what your yearly salary would be. Reverse formula literally is reverse of this. We're going to start off with your monthly or yearly salary, and then we're going to divide our way up into, once we get to the XRP side, what the tokens that we have on hand, and then that will give you the XRP price that you're going to sell. So you start with the salary that you want to earn, you divide it by 5%, 0.05 for your income fund. That gives you your net total. Your net total you divide by 80% because the other 20% is going to go to taxes. That's going to be your gross total. And then we're going to take your gross total and divide it by a certain number of XRP tokens that you may have on hand for the long haul, and that will give you your XRP price to sell. So let's look at the XRP Wealth Chart. I did this in a video before where I compared XRP accounts versus yearly wages. And this is basically if you're in the top 1%, 5%, or 10%, you need to be making this much money per year in order to be there as far as the US salaries are concerned. Well, then let's take a look at the XRP accounts. In order to have the equivalent of XRP Wealth, you need 73,000 tokens at 1%, 10,000 tokens at 5%, and then 2,700 tokens for XRP just to be in the top 10% of XRP holders. So we're going to use this data. We're going to start with the 10%. We're going to do another math formula with the 5%. Again, get your pencil and paper out, take notes, screenshot, pause the video so you can follow along with the formula so you can make your own plan when you're doing this. So XRP, reverse engineering your income. You're going to take your monthly income times 12 months, which is going to equal your yearly salary. This is really the reverse formula, but it's pretty much the same as before. You're going to take your yearly salary, you're going to divide it by 5% because that's what the income fund is going to yield. That's going to give you your net total before taxes in dollars. Now you still have to figure out your taxes, so take your net total and divide that by 80%. The other 20% will go to taxes, and that'll give you your gross total. And then you take your gross total divided by the number of XRP tokens. That's your targeted XRP price. So let's look at this on the XRP Wealth scale, 10%, which is 167,000 a year, or if you want to do by month, it's $13,917 per month that you would have to earn to be in the top 10% of US wage earners. But you only need 2,700 tokens of XRP to get something of its equivalent. I'm going to show you how that works. We're going to plug these numbers into the formula. So we're going to do your $13,000 a month monthly income. You have 2,700 XRP tokens. Here's the reverse formula. You take the 13,917 per month that you're making or want to make, and you multiply it by 12. That equals $167,000 a year for a yearly salary. Take your $167,000 per year, you divide it by 5% into your income fund, and basically what you will need to generate $167,000 a year at 5%, you need 3.3 million in your income fund generating that yield. That's what will get you to 167,000. But that's after taxes. So what do you need before that to pay your taxes? Well, then just take your 3.3 million and you divide it by 0.8 or 80%, and that will give you $4.175 million. So you need literally a chunk in hand, 4.175 million. 20% of that will go to taxes, and the other 80% will go into your income fund to generate $167,000 per year. Follow me? Looking good? So what does this look like in XRP, and how many XRP do we need to get there, and what's the price that we need to get there? Well, I mentioned 2,700 tokens is at that 10% wealth. So you take your 4.175 million, you divide it by 2,700 XRP tokens, and basically XRP would have to hit $1,546.29. Now, just 7 months ago, this did not look possible when it was hovering at the 50 to 60% mark. We've seen just how fast this can move in a very short period of time. I don't think we've seen nothing yet. We're talking melt faces side when this stuff becomes part of the utility infrastructure and framework of the financial system. We're not even close to there yet. However, interestingly enough, Bitcoin just went over the $100,000 mark today. And I remember when Bitcoin was $2.78 and I had a chance to buy and I didn't. And they said, I'm not going to make that mistake again when that happens. So 1546, comparatively speaking to what Ethereum has done over the past few years and what Bitcoin has done definitely over the past 4 or 5 years, definitely a long-term hold to get to 1,500 per token for XRP. Just remember when the founder implemented this and created this, he said it has to be between 7,000 and 10,000 per token for it to work for what their goal, vision, and mission was. So this is not out of the ordinary. It's just a long way from where we are right now. But at least you get your plan together to replace a certain amount of income, or you choose the income that you want to earn, plug it into the formula, and then you know how much XRP tokens you have to hold on to and definitely what the price is. So let's go to the 5% mark. That's $335,000 per year. Sorry, some idiots putting fireworks out here for fucking reasons I can't figure out. That's $27,000 per month. And for XRP Wealth, that's 10,000 tokens. So what does that look like when plugging it into the formula? Well, 27,000 a month. Here's the reverse formula. You might multiply it by 12. There's where you get the 335,000 yearly salary. Take that, divide it by the income fund, the 5% that you're going to be investing in. You need $6.7 million going into that income fund at 5% to generate a $335,000 a year salary. But you still have to pay your taxes. So you take your 6.7 million divided by 80%, because that other 20% will go to taxes. And basically, after you're done liquidating the XRP for a salary of $335,000, you're going to need $8.375 million from your XRP liquidation in order to generate all of that. So how do you figure out how many XRP and what the price is? Well, take your 8.375 million, divide it by the 10,000 XRP tokens, which is 5% of XRP wealth in the United States. And that will give you $837.50 per XRP token, a little more reasonable. That's why when I've been doing these videos since March, I've been telling people, don't worry about the price fluctuations at the 50, 60, 70% cents mark. Just make sure you're stacking the amount of XRP at this point. You're in a bear market. You want to build what you're going to be earning later on in the bear market. And we've had those 7 months at least here. And before that, if you were part of the upswell for the past couple of years after the lawsuit, we've had some discounts to stack 10,000 XRP tokens. 7 months ago, it only cost us $5,000 to get 10,000 tokens. Now it's going to cost you 20 to 25 grand to get you 10,000 tokens. It's a much different world now because the price has gone up. So, and as you'll find out, if you do the 1% and plug the numbers in, you'll find out that it'll cost even less per XRP. It'll cost 200 something XRP in order to get $800,000 a year in salary. Because you're in the top 1% of XRP holders, you can reverse engineer this to get to the top 1% of US wage earners as well. Just have to do the math, plug into the formula, pause this screen, screenshot it, write it down on a piece of paper, and then generate your own plan from these numbers as we're doing them, and pick your own salary or what you need to do per month. Maybe you only make $5,000 a month. Well, I'll do $5,000 and plug it into the formula and see how that happens. So again, looking at the big picture here, I said that this doesn't correlate exactly, but what I did say in the video that I did on how many XRP tokens should I purchase, look between the 10% and 5% line and look between the 5% and 1% line, and always make your goals accordingly, because I just showed you how to reverse engineer it with some high prices for a long-term hold, true, but at the very least, the math somewhat works. It's not going to cost you $350,000 per XRP token just to get that kind of income. You need something pretty reasonable that it could hit based on its utility and its use case. We know what we hold. We just have to have the patience and the guile to hold it long term in order to make this happen for us. So, some final thoughts on this. Pause the video on the formula page, write it down, and then plug in your own numbers, plug in your own goals. Get out a pen and paper, write it down, just like our ancestors from the 1980s used to do, and then plug in your numbers for monthly, yearly income and plan accordingly. We may not have a lot of time in this initial bull run, but this is definitely not for the initial bull run. These are prices that you're going to be looking at for a long-term hold. So when you plug in your numbers, think about it, what it would be for a long-term hold. Let's say end of next year into 2026, going into 2027 when this stuff comes online and the switch is flipped. Not a bad idea to hold a grip of it just in case you want to maximize some of the advantages for those high price numbers. Anyway, giant hugs. Good luck, everybody. I'm rooting for you.